undecided, question mark? Level 3?
Yes.
Level 3. Level 3.
Yes.
Oh boy, guys, tonight's gonna be a hoot.
Couldn't even wait for the the transition to the other sheet before the puns.
The puns wait for no one.
This is gonna be a good night.
Hello, stream. That appears to be currently empty, but hello, internet, anyway. This is the very first session of the Four Souls campaign, which is a homebrew world, homebrew story, with some homebrew races thrown into the mix as well. Our intrepid party is starting at level 3 because they have all decided that they know each other already and have some history. And I will leave it to them to explain the shenanigans that they have come up with.
Well, me and Dustin are experimenting with exploding cabbages.
This is correct.
And how is that? How did that come to be?
Well, he makes cabbages and I make magic. So I just try to put magic into cabbages, and then
Found
we
the little rascal.
throw them in the alley and see if they blow up.
Found the little rascal and fell out the sky and been with us, and one of them went off, and I'm here with what was your name?
Ooh, I'm Skippy, and that's my friend Temperance.
That's not in the alley blowing up cabbages.
No, she's a more of a brutish character. She likes to solve mysteries and crimes and bad guys.
Anything that doesn't have anything to do with cabbages, basically. I'll be there.
We own a business together.
I sell the food, and they to do the detective work.
Still waiting on a client, I think, officially.
And
But, yes.
sometimes I use minor illusion to make stuff sound like a sitcom.
So, Norman, how'd you get involved in all this ridiculousness?
Norman coming from Core, which has been having a real rash of lizard folk problems recently, is tracking down some sort of a plot-based MacGuffin that brought him back to this just south of the where we are currently, finding Zara with a washed-up ship, and then turning back to town to attempt to raise some help.
And Zara, who is currently not joining us today, is a Gadakai pirate. And Gadakai are a race of small insect peoples who tend to raid and pillage and plunder. And her ship the ship she was part of, got overtaken, and she washed up on shore and was found by Norman, and how got sucked into all these shenanigans. So you are all currently in the city of Everbright, which is along the coast, the most prominent city, mainly because it does have a whole section of it built just to interact with sea folk, races and people that cannot come up on land very easily, if at all. The city is very multicultural. It's a melting pot of different races, and it is big on crafting and artisans. There are various guilds. There are generally all artisan guilds of some sort around, and our daring protagonists have decided that they are going to start a detective agency in the vicinity of the main thoroughfare. And that is where we are going to be picking up on things today. Yay!
All right.
Huzzah!
1, 2, 3.
I love the style.
Huzzah!
Huzzah, indeed.
So, this tale is starting early morning when everyone is starting to wake up. Wherever you have laid your head to rest, be it in a bed somewhere, in a doorway in some alley, wherever you have plopped yourself. In the morning, when you wake up, there is a letter affixed to you in some fashion. And in your detective agency locale, when you show up, you will find the same letter affixed to the inside of the door, but there are multiples of them, each one addressed to the different names that have been gone out, because I know you guys had been trying to advertise and not settling on a name, so there are various names leading to this one location, so there are many letters. And it...
Would you look at
say
that?
this.
Ooh.
Who would like to read the letter?
Greetings and salutations on this auspicious day. If you I'm having trouble saying this. If you have received this letter, you have been invited to take part in a meeting to discuss a lucrative job offer. I have lost something. Was it something?
Dear
Sorry.
to me.
I'm trying to zoom in on the letter. Near and dear to me, and due to some unfortunate timing, I am unable to search for it myself. That is where you come in. Meet me midday at the Excited Paladin, which is located west of the open market on Shop House? Street? Spokeshave Street. For more details, W. Bowen Reinhardt.
Now, what do you do?
I'm gonna hop around excitedly and be like, "Oh, we got a job! Oh, Temperance, we got a job!"
Alright, Skippy, alright.
Well, you getting prepped for the Excited Paladin, I'm guessing?
Well, you have to be excited if we're gonna meet the Paladin.
So we're taking this offer?
Yeah, was this like just nailed to the front door or something?
It was on the inside of the door.
That's creepy.
And
You gotta
on
get a lock.
everybody. Every single one of you have one affixed to your body when you woke up in the morning.
Can't say they're not thorough. Alright.
It's the first time I got mail.
Well, I mean, they didn't exactly give an explanation of what they look like just to go there, so... I say we kind of split up and check out the place, or at least, don't all go in at once.
I'm gonna lean into to Temperance and just go, "Is this delivering Skipper by himself a real good idea?"
Oh my god, we need to get you breath mints. You smell like cabbages. Like, just have you been
I can
eating them
help.
raw?
I literally do not make anything else. What? Find me some seeds and I'll make something else.
Diversity is the spice of life, sir. But, yeah, I mean, maybe you two go in separately and I'll keep an eye. I just don't want to, you know, all eggs in one basket, but I hate that saying.
Woohoo.
Was that a hoot?
That was. A 0 hoot. So Skippy would like to, kind of neatly collect all the letters, and just, like, have them, because in Skippy's mind, he's gonna find the person because he has the letters. And so he's just kind of gonna just have a stack of these letters with him when he goes. Unless anybody else wants the letters.
No.
So it is morning, and you have a couple hours before midday happens. You wanted to scope out the place? Or is there... If you're splitting up, what are your plans?
I just feel like a human farmer and then two bird-like people walking in a big clump with a bunch of paper letters would be a little obvious. So I was going for at least, like, you know, you go in and then 2 minutes later I'll go in and you guys get a table in the corner and then I'll get a table, like, you know, split up.
I really think you're thinking this way too hard.
Well, I think that he's not. And I look down at Skippy, who's, like, organizing the papers, and is like, I'm going to show them to everybody, or whatever his plan is.
Skippy is...
Yes?
Are you sure?
That I want to show the letters to people?
Yes.
Well, no, not really.
How about this? You check one letter,
Oh,
and then
okay.
we can all go. Alright?
Okay.
Alright. Are we good?
Skippy would like to search for the letter that went out to the Cabbage Crime Fighters Detective Agency. Specifically that one. That's his favorite name.
It is not difficult to find.
Yes.
It's the pile. Within the pile.
Okay. Let me just do some quick upkeep on the shop really quick. Make sure our cabbages aren't gonna go bad, and then we can go head out.
Yeah, how would you tell? You know what, it doesn't matter.
Who was it addressed to again? Who sent it out?
It was
W. Bowen Reinhardt.
And Skippy, you
Yes.
would know that people who generally have graduated from one of the wizarding schools sign it with a W, as meaning they are Wizard Bowen Reinhardt.
Oh, guys, it's a wizard. Like me.
Why would a wizard need help finding a tower?
Well, he didn't say exactly what he needed to be found. But I mean, there's lots of reasons. There's the thing that happened during the magic competition the one year when the city got rearranged, and so maybe it's just somewhere else.
Or maybe.
If that is what we were looking for. But we
You
do
guys
not
are
have-
jumping to a lot of conclusions here. How do you know it's a tower?
Sorry, I just realized that. Backtrack a little bit.
Is that a thing that wizards do? Lose a lot of towers?
Wizards are mysterious creatures.
We are.
They are. Long linger on Skippy.
Oh, I know. He's a wizard. I'm a wizard. I'll. Maybe we went to the same college.
You're a wizard, Skippy?
I am, and I do the thing where I like put my wings up out to both sides and like sparks fly out with minor illusion.
Fascinating. Should we start heading out?
Yeah. So Skippy's just gonna use magic so the cabbages don't rot while we're out, and then hop out the door and flop away.
Dustin's gonna get a straw hat, put it on, make sure he got his gear, and just head out.
Temperance will crack a window in the hopes that something comes in and eats all the cabbage, and then she'll kind of leave, walking behind them.
He's gonna leave one cabbage safe under his bed.
So, switching gears to the city map, your party is here with your detective agency. And some of you have been here long enough to generally have an idea of where the excited Paladin is. It's some distance away. The city's pretty big. And if you want, you guys have control of a party token as well if you want to scoot around.
Ooh.
Fancy.
So what is your plans?
Temperance, this one's your operation. We're in the cabbage business.
Yeah, so, yeah, Temperance, didn't, I guess if Skippy's grabbing one of his preferred name, I'll grab, Sleuth and Slaw and head that way. And, I'll instruct them to go in first and get a lay of the land. So I guess we'll just head. I mean, do we want to just zoom over there? I'm fine with that.
Temperance, before we go in, do you think it'd be safe to possibly ask for the name Bowen around town? Maybe somebody knows, or do you think we're safe going in?
That's a good question. Athy, is the person that you were talking about in this town, or was it another town?
Yes, in here.
Okay, then yeah. If he's not too out of the way, Temperance would explain that she met a contact to Dustin and Skippy and say, I need to sync up with somebody I know and get any information about this person that I can first. His name is Chaucer.
He's down this way.
But he's not, as far as I know, he's not a great, he doesn't trust many other people. So if you guys could just, like, wait on the side street and, she'll take out, like, a gold coin and give one to each. Go buy yourself some sweets or whatever, straw hats, anything but cabbage, basically.
Dustin's just gonna tip his hat.
So I'll kind of follow that lead and not go like with her to I can't remember the name, sorry. Not go with her to her contact, but hang around, see kind of what's around the area, just hopping around the city.
Stay safe, Temperance. I'm just gonna walk off.
Cool.
So Chaucer tends to stay in. He has an apartment. It is a decent sized apartment. He does most of his business out of here. And generally he's found most times of day, given his line of business. So how do you approach this?
Yeah, so if this is just his apartment, it's not like a business or anything, she'll do the...
He doesn't have like a front, like a storefront like you
Okay.
do.
Yeah, he'll just, Temperance will just kind of knock whatever special knock they've kind of been working on developing. And just try and get his attention and ask him if he has any information about this, this wizard. It's in need of something. Do you know who they are?
And the door will open, and he is generally always decently dressed. He doesn't flaunt any wealth, but he always looks perfect. Always wearing a pair of leather gloves, leaning on a cane, dark hair slicked back. And he peers down at you, eyebrow raised, and he's like, "You're here early. It's not like you."
Well, when your entire business smells like cabbage, you really don't want to stick around all that often. Look, I got this letter. Actually, a few different copies of this letter. We're still working out the name of the business, but do you know who this is? And she'll show him the letter, but like kind of cover up part of the information with her wing and just kind of, do you know who this person is? I'm told they're a wizard by the W.
That's generally how the flashier ones like to get their name around. And he doesn't go to take the letter, but you feel like he's kind of judging your choice to hide things from him.
Oh, sorry. Feathers, you know. Paper's
while
tiny.
asking him for help.
Feathers are in the way. Sorry. I mean, it's a very vague letter anyway. I mean, you're welcome to read it. Be careful though. This is one of 4 copies, I believe. It's very interested in getting this information across.
So what about him are you looking to find out?
Just want to know if this is a well-known person in this city. If so, do you have any information about him? Is he well-to-do? Is he sketchy? Is he kind of crazy? What are we walking into here by going to the Excited Paladin? Also, is the Excited Paladin, would I know or can I ask him if the Excited Paladin is like a good place to go, a place where shady dealings happen, or a place where there's a lot of really eager paladins just chilling?
It's a not the sort of place I would visit, but it's a tavern and an inn. It does all right. There's nothing special about it. As for this name, doesn't come to mind.
All right. Well, I mean, you're really the only person I have in the city, and if you haven't heard of him, I mean, out of character, Athy, I would know that this guy, this contact that I have, is pretty well established in this city.
Yes.
Okay. So, well, if you haven't heard of him, take it with a grain of salt, I suppose, and we'll just be cautious, I suppose. Thank you for...
You have me curious now. If you learn anything, let me know.
Oh, of course. I mean, information shared is, information gained. I'm still working those out. Sounds good. I appreciate your time. Sorry to get you up so early.
Mm-hmm.
And she will walk back out to the street and try and find those 2.
Oh, wow.
Did you cut out for anybody else?
Skippy.
Yes.
Well, she's going off doing some shady business. You want to see if we can find some information?
Yes. So Skippy would like to see if he can recall hearing any stories of this wizard while he was in Wizard's College.
What was that?
So Skippy is just trying to search his memory right now to see if he's heard any stories about this wizard from Wizard College.
Roll a history. And you could roll with advantage, because that's a place you've been to and spent a good deal of time in.
Ooh.
You can't think of anybody that had gone to your school, but there's a memory of an erratic redhead by the name Bowen that was visiting for some reason that you're not particularly sure of. Not a student, not a teacher, maybe just visiting.
So was I there, like, and saw him?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So I want to turn to Dustin and be like, well, I probably should have said this earlier, but I kind of know him ish.
Oh.
We're like
You're
kind of
ever-
acquainted friends, but we never talked or met. But I saw him.
That's still some useful information.
Yeah, he has red hair, like a red cabbage, and he's a person.
You say you never talked to him? Do you know about maybe his kinks, quirks? How he maybe, if he's erratic, if he's
Yes,
springy.
he is slightly erratic. And he just came to the college one day and didn't really do anything, didn't teach anybody anything or do anything or learn anything. He was just there, and then I didn't really see him again after that. But maybe he found me, and he says that he remembers me too, and he just wants to hang out. Oh, but he's looking for something. Maybe it's me.
Let's keep that in mind. Before we go in with that full knowledge, would I know of possibly working in the cabbage business? Would I know any other sellers or people who would deal in things like that, like maybe a main thoroughfare market?
Yeah, the main market area is this whole section in the center.
Temperance can find us. We're not that far away.
This open area in the middle is generally where there would be carts and vegetables and such.
So on the ground, I'm going to put a big arrow saying Skippy and Dustin went this way with prestidigitation.
While Temperance is talking to...
Yes. Just so she knows where we went.
Alright. Could we make our way to that main thoroughfare? And can I just ask around the other sellers or other vendors who maybe aren't busy, or just the people around, to see if I can learn any details about a wizard possibly named Bowen?
You can do whatever you like.
And Skippy would like to ask around for any knowledge on like spell books or scrolls or something like that.
Okay. So you're heading to the market area. So Dustin is asking around about Bowen?
Yeah.
You can make an investigation roll.
Okay.
Like the detectives you're pretending to be. Trying so very hard.
Hmm.
Eight.
The people you pick, these are farm people. They tend to come like you would come into the city from outside. The really lucky ones find open spots here in the market. Others go to different areas in the city to sell their wares. But they're generally not from the city for the most part. And simple people, no idea about any wizards. Not how they roll.
Thank you for your time, sir. It was worth a shot. Skipper, find any information?
So yeah, I guess Skippy's gonna go around with this a different line of questioning from just asking about Bowen, and I guess asking about have you seen a guy come through here with really red hair, and he might be acting like really super weird sometimes, but he's a nice guy, but maybe, I think. Oh.
Well, jeez.
25. Most of the people you talk to really don't have any clue what's going on. You do talk to somebody who is selling mead that not long ago, like maybe a half hour before you got there, there was a group of 3 people buying mead, and they were talking about someone by that name, and that they had to meet him somewhere.
Okay. Was it the excited Paladin, maybe, or somewhere like that?
Just shrugged it. I don't know. Wasn't really paying that much attention. Just
Okay.
making sure they paid me proper.
Well, thank you. And he goes back and tells Dustin that
You put more emphasis on my name than you put on Dustin.
Temperance will come up at this point and say, nice little arrow on the ground, guys.
There
So-
was an arrow? What's going on, arrow?
You,
What'd you do?
And in the market area, as you're walking through, you recognize a certain half-orc, looking completely perplexed as per usual, carrying one of the same letters that you guys have.
You see Xanroar going around, just kind of head down, looking at the letter, looking up around, trying to see any signs maybe. Then goes back down to the letter and keeps walking. Kind of oblivious.
did he stop by our agency yet, or was that just kind of future roleplay stuff?
No, that's...
No, he would have stopped by.
You all know each other already.
Cool, just making sure. I'll flag him down with a wing.
Hey, Zara.
Ah, if it isn't the Cabbage Head detectives.
You can call
What
us
are you
that.
doing out and about?
Well, by the looks of what you got in your hand, I think we're both no.
Oh, this? Yeah, it was taped to my forehead when I woke up.
Oh, that's interesting. We got one of those. Well, we got a lot of those too.
You don't say.
We're in to get it.
Do you know where this, looks down at letter, excited Paladin place might possibly be?
Oh yeah.
Really? Because I've been going around in circles, I think, at this point, for like the last half hour.
Well, Temperance tells me that I'm not allowed to tell people stuff that she's investigating anymore. Because the guy got away that one time, and that she was mad.
Yeah, and I'm
Okay,
sure you've
alright.
completely followed that and not
Alright.
blabbed any of our business around this whole place, right,
Alright.
Skippy? I trust you.
It's not blabbing; it's investigating.
Xanroar, it's right over here. Let's start walking.
But if you're yelling, is it though?
Well, Skippy would like to tell Temperance all of the information that he had gathered about Bowden.
Temperance is listening along, and then when he's eventually, I assume, reveals the fact that he remembers him from school, she'll stop walking and just kind of slow pan over to him.
Hopping.
You went to school with this person.
No,
You
he just was there one day.
Skippy went to school?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I am a wizard.
you
He does the Sparks thing again.
I
Okay.
give you a long stare.
I worked in the
Really?
school that he went to. It's true. I worked in the school that he went to.
So he wasn't teaching, he wasn't learning, he was just creeping at the school?
No,
Huh?
I worked in the cafeteria. I'm not a creeper.
I
Sorry,
think she's
I'm talking about the wizard.
Oh, my bad.
I assumed you were selling cabbages.
Well, many wizards go to the school to do wizard stuff, like magic.
So you saw him performing magic at the school.
Oh, no. It's just an implied
Okay.
task.
Interesting. Well, I mean, did you ever speak to him? Would he recognize you? Perhaps you shouldn't be the first to walk in, if that's the case.
Well, I actually was thinking maybe I could do this. And so I was going to do minor illusion to put on like a BWU like sweater vest onto Skippy so that it's obvious that he's from the school.
Subtle, yes.
And so like if maybe he'll come up and talk to me because we were at the same place the one time.
So, would you like to go in and attempt that first? Instead of going for the letter, you'll have to hide that then, if you're trying to just go on the whole alumni angle. I don't think it's a terribly bad idea, actually. She's, like, doesn't want to say that, but is kind of proud of him for a second.
Well,
So, go ahead.
No, after you.
Well, I was just gonna say I look at Dustin and see what he wants to do because Dustin's kind of like my best friend in the world. So,
Well, I don't think that's a bad idea. But at the same time, wouldn't it be maybe a good idea for him to hold the letter? That way he knows that somebody who he went to school with is on his side. Doesn't feel alone. Or like a bunch of strangers
Well,
are just creeping up towards him.
well, this guy literally did petition a bunch of strangers. More than we know, it sounds like. And points at Xanroar looking over his letter.
Yeah, well, he's just back down to looking at the letter.
So what if we did the original plan of everybody going to corners, and then I just am in the middle of the bar with my sweater vest, which is very dapper, and the letter?
Sounds... I would still suggest waiting on revealing the letter, see if he comes up to you. If not, take out the letter and start reading it. But yes, I think we should all go in, go separate, and see what happens. And, if you're in any danger, just hoot. And we will, converge and whatnot.
Oh, sounds good. So...
No, you go. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no, Skippy was just going to say that he flops off towards the excited Paladin.
Skipper, before you hop off.
Okay.
And Temperance, I want to ask you too. And Xanroar too. I need to know your opinion on this. I get why maybe you, Skipper, and I know maybe you, Temperance, why you guys got a letter. I don't know you very well, Xanroar. But why would a letter be sent to me, a cabbage farmer? A Xanroar, I don't know you very well, but why send it to these specific people?
Well, you literally are part of our business. As much as I've tried to remove the smell from the office, you're a third of what we do.
And I would probably still be lost out there if it wasn't for you. So you have to be like the bravest cabbage farmer ever.
That's very much appreciated. And no offense to you, Xanroar, but why are you?
Xanroar just kind of looks up. What? Oh, yes. I do not know.
Well, I mean...
I've literally been here for a week.
You're also searching for things. It would make sense if this person happened to be watching our business. I'm sure he saw you come in and thought that maybe you were a part of our business, or somebody else that lost something saw that connection.
I have been by a good number of times already. Made any progress, by the way?
We're still working on that one. I'm still gathering intel. We can debrief after this. Let's take this. I don't want to talk about it out in the open here.
Okay.
Fair enough. Should let you know, subtlety isn't exactly
That's
skill
okay.
of mine.
You're in good company, as she kind of gestures to... There was a chalk mark and names on the ground back over there, so it's fine.
As we're heading over, I'm just kind of leaning into Temperance. Does Skippy actually know where we're going?
I believe we all know, out of character, I believe we all know roughly where we're going. I mean, I'm sure we'll hear...
You would.
Yeah,
I'm not
totally.
sure about the others.
Yeah, totally.
Oh,
It's
my
this
bad.
way. It's one of these brown buildings here. This one.
I feel like if Skippy's just trying to go into like a wrong turn, he's literally skipping, and Dustin is just gonna take him by the scruff and just point him in the right direction as he continues to skip.
Skippy does wear a magician's cape, so
Xanroar's just
So-
clinking behind.
And Norman had gone ahead to scope the place out.
Yeah, see, there's the front door there, and then you have the typical back door exit. But I'm seeing a little bit of basement access, so that might be an outlet as well. And then also you've got a cook's dump zone in the back. So
Norman, it's been a bit.
yeah, well, it has been a bit, and I've been waiting, and we can at least get out of here if it goes bad.
So you've
You seem
noted
paranoid.
all the exits?
Why walk into a place that you know you can't get out of?
He doesn't like closed spaces, I don't think.
Also, Norm, if you could roll a perception, belated perception for all of your looking about. So, like, as you were scoping the place out, you noticed a pair of elves go in that appeared to be twins. Very stone-faced, straight-backed sort of types, and also a group of 3. A human, one kind of might have been a half-elf, one was definitely a dwarf that had gone in prior. They were very chatty and chummy and back-patty with each other.
Any of them carrying papers?
The three peoples definitely were chatting about the situation. The elves seem very closed off, and you don't really see what they're carrying besides like general packs, and they each have a quiver and a bow.
Okay. I will relay that back to the group. There's twins sticking the mugs, and then there's people, like you guys
Birds?
that like talk and cheer. No, that are like, we like talking and stuff.
Half-orcs.
No, go fish.
Well, you said people
Kinda
like
gives some
us.
Side eye.
I meant the type that talk. There's a human, and then like I don't know, an elf or a half elf and a dwarf, and they're all like, let's have a party and talk about papers.
Exactly how long is it that you've been away from people?
I mean, you don't hunt people, so a while.
What a weird thing to say. Okay, sounds great. So there's other people in here that... I mean, did he just invite everybody? She's trying to just kind of, take notes, but is asking these things kind of out loud. All right, so go in
Well,
separately?
It's fair to hedge your bets.
yeah.
Alright. I think we got some information about who we're gonna be. I don't want to say competition, but what we're gonna be dealing with. So, shall we go in?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Head towards the door.
Temperance will head in last and just kind of wait for other people to go in.
So Skippy goes in, finds like the most center table.
Well, as you head in,
Oh, sorry.
there is a kind of barrel-chested bronze dragonborn at the bar, and a not as big, but she certainly looks like she could handle herself, blue dragonborn who has a tail, actually. And she comes up and she's like, "Y'all got an invite?"
Holds up the paper. I assume you mean this.
And she'll snatch it up and take a look at it and hand it back. Sure thing, sugar. Go find a place to sit.
Nods and heads in.
And she will eye everybody else.
Hi. Hoot.
Okay, Temperance will come at the hoot because she said she would.
Raises the brow.
Temperance will walk up, see Skippy just at the door, I guess, waiting to get in.
Skippy's very scared of this dragonborn.
Okay, and Temperance will walk up, sigh, and show the ticket, and kind of pat Skippy, like go ahead, come on. It's
Skippy
fine.
just hops on in.
Y'all the detective people then, huh?
Yeah. Yes.
And she'll take a step back and motion you all in.
I'll give the way the small birds or the reactions.
Or the overbearing smell of cabbage.
I don't smell that bad. Do I?
Your letters.
Yeah, that would do it.
That's a good tip off.
So, can I get
Thank
y'all
you,
anything
Dustin.
while you're waiting? Might be a bit still.
Milk. And then he like looks around and sees like the tougher crowd and is like, chocolate milk.
I'll see what I can do.
Water for me, please.
Might be a bit. Who else are we waiting on? Is this and she looks around. Is it full in here? Like,
Nope, it's just you guys and the other two groups that were that Norm saw enter.
are they looking our way, or are they just kind of in their own conversations?
The elves are kind of off in the booth in the corner, and they have some food and some sort of drink, but they seem more interested in like eyeing everybody. And the other group, there's a whole lot of food out on the table. They're drinking and merrymaking, and it's almost like a complete opposite between the two of them. And then there's you guys who have just arrived.
Stumbled awkwardly through the door. Yeah. Okay. All right. Still waiting on this place. Is it going to fill up? Is that the idea? I didn't realize this was invite only.
Well, you got invites.
Right.
That should have been a clue. But just waiting on the little miss to come down and give you whatever information she's supposed to give you.
Is this place? Would I know if the Excited Paladin is a tavern and inn?
It is an inn as well.
It
Second
is
floor
inn.
inn.
Okay.
And
Cool. Nothing to drink, thank you. And Temperance will try and find another separate corner that's, equidistant between the two, if possible.
Quick question.
It's
there...
free.
I'll have a large ale. At the sound of free.
Yes.
Quick question. Are any of the other groups eyeing us, or any one of us specifically?
Roll a perception.
Crits are flying tonight.
The more cheerful group seems kind of preoccupied. The dwarf in general just seems kind of glum, and they're trying to cheer him up. about something or other. And actually I have, before I forget, I have arts.
Yay, pictures.
Aw.
Such a happy group.
And
Ooh,
not so happy group.
they look like the Olsen twins.
One male, one female, and they are definitely eyeing you guys. Kind of lingering more on the orc, but otherwise they're keeping to themselves. They're not really. They barely seem to be interacting with each other.
Yeah, Xanroar's just ignoring the stares. He's used to it.
Dustin's gonna put a hand on Xanroar's shoulder and then just go take a seat.
Oh, he's already sat down. He actually pulled out of his little bag on the side a little folding chair and sat down on it instead of any of the bar stools or table stools.
Anyone who had asked for a drink will get one. You'll all get like a basket of bread on the table and water, like mugs of water, regardless. And she's gonna explain that everything so far is gonna be free. Everything's paid for, so eat and drink what you want.
Can I ask who paid for it?
Whoever's in charge of this whole shindig bought out the whole place for this whatever's gonna happen.
Is that the missus?
Miss? No. And all I know is that she's going to be coming down a bit later to talk to y'all.
Is she related to what we're here for? Like, she's not the benefactor, but she's connected somehow.
I guess. She's the only one here.
Are you the owner of this establishment? You seem to have some information, but not all.
I work here.
Okay.
And she,
Like a
mentions
bouncer?
over... It's my, my brother-in-law over there. He owns the place.
I'm guessing she's bartender or something?
She's, like waitress and...
Okay.
And, bouncer giving her look, but it's, not, an issue at the moment, really.
Alright.
Other than the missus coming down to talk to us, we wouldn't happen to have any more information, do you?
He shrugs. We ain't paid to have information.
I think they're just the hosts. I think we'll get more information soon. Do you know any of these other people here? And she'll kind of look around and like try and make eye contact with the elves to get them to stop staring.
It kind of just maybe it's because they're twins, but they seem to like both stare at you at the same time with the same degree of intensity, and it just feels like they're looking into your soul.
She'll just give a little wave of her feathers at them.
And seem a bit disgusted, actually.
I don't think
It's faint, but your passive insight is massive, so you could pick that up.
Yeah, and plus I would... I think I would know, like, elves generally, and correct me if I'm wrong in your world, Athy, but elves generally like other elves, and everything else is kind of a rung or 6 below that.
It depends. They're pretty... They're not xenophobic exactly, but they tend to keep to themselves a lot, and these are of the sun variety, which tend to be even more so.
Yeah, Zan is halfway through the breadbasket at this point.
No.
Skippy, do you want my bird basket?
Sure. And Skippy just takes a piece of bread out, lays it on the table, and starts pecking at it. I also want it on record that Skippy wasn't waving at everybody in the bar because he was like, oh, Temperance wouldn't wave at anybody, so why would Skippy?
I didn't, like, flag him down, like, hey, we're over here. But I did, like, a little tittle, like, stop it, I see you. Like, you're being creepy. I wasn't trying to be super obvious with it, but yes, you are correct. Temperance would not normally do that. She's just trying to, you know, meet their gaze and get them to stop, because usually polite people will look away when someone else stares at them. Apparently not them.
Considering about we're on a job, I don't think that these are all polite people.
It feels like a competition of sorts. I was not expecting that.
Who really cares? Free meal and free drink.
Or maybe it's a support group.
So,
Maybe.
for lost
going-
things?
For what?
For outsiders.
Dustin's gonna nod towards the dwarf who's not having a good time. He's gonna go, I don't know if that's 100% true, considering this one looks to be in a rut.
Yeah, the other two look like they have their bows shoved up their ass.
Ah, language!
I don't know if I would say that too loud, Xanroar.
Just kind of shrugs. They're already giving me stares. I don't really care at this point.
To be fair, they seem to be, you know, unilaterally hating all of us at the moment. But do we see them staring at the other three as well with the same kind of distaste? Or just us?
More of the same, but you know, like there's like burping and such coming from that table, and they're just kind of like, that whole table there.
Well, maybe we should go talk to somebody because, well, I don't think staring at each other is working great. And those guys seem nice. Pointing at the table of three.
Well,
Go get some useful information.
Well, if the person at the door, I'm sorry I did not ask your name. Bouncer lady.
Frigga.
Oh, what a great name. Frigga. Hello. You said this will be happening shortly about, you know, do we have time to mingle for those that wish to, or?
I know she said midday. Got a bit of time, I guess.
Good lord. And it's like early morning, because Chaucer's like, why are you here so early?
So you've got time.
All right, mingle away, gentlemen. If you want to. Norman, you're kind of creepy looking. I would probably... I mean, you don't seem like a mingler anyway.
I would prefer not to mingle, that is correct.
Xanroar, I don't know if you're top sort to mingle either, considering.
With his mouth full of the ends of the free basket of food. Probably not be the best.
Alright.
I'll keep Norman here some company.
Skippy, remember what we talked about. Names with faces.
Names with faces. He says, he like mutters to himself, and he's like, names to face, as he like hops over to the table of like the three people that are like kind of happy. And he's gonna be like, hey, I'm Skippy. I am a wizard. And he does his thing with the sparks.
And there's a pause, because all they see right now are sparks. And kind of scramble and leave over, and they're like, oh. The bigger guy, he's like, well, aren't you adorable?
Oh, you stop it. He's gonna say it's customary in hand culture to shake, and so he like extends out a wing to all three of them individually.
There's a bit of confusion on like how to actually shake a wing, but attempts are made, and it's awkward. But the half elf pulls out one of the chairs and offers. He's like, "Feel like joining us?" He's like, "It's free. All of this is free. Can you believe that?"
I know, somebody's just the nicest. So I'm Skippy. Who are you guys?
Well, the big guy, he's got scruffy blonde hair, and he's like he has like this mound of like honey cakes and mead, and he's very into these honey cakes. Apparently, he's like, "Well, my name is Win. This is my friend Trigger," and he motions over to the half elf who has crossbows sitting nearby, and this is Yor, and the dwarf just kind of grumbles in your general direction and chewing on a large chunk of meat.
Well, you guys seem really nice. I'm Skippy. That's my best friend over there. That's Dustin. He sells cabbages. Well, we both do. And I would like to say, oh, it looks like your meat is getting warm, and I'm going to use prestidigitation to cool it a little bit. And then I'm going to turn to the dwarf and be like, what seems to be the matter, friend?
It's about as much as you get, and Trigger seems to be like the most energetic out of them, and he's got one of those like he's sitting with like both feet flat, but one foot's tapping up and down. He's like, "Nah, sure, he gets like this sometimes. Think he can't never tell. But we got these letters in the morning, which I'm guessing you guys did too."
Yeah.
So, just seemed like, it could be something to cheer him up.
Well, does he like magic shows? Because I can do some cool tricks.
And Yor just kind of like, his eyes like flicker over, and is like watching curiously. He dubiously.
So I'm gonna start with like using minor illusion to do some like classic magician tricks, almost like close-up magic kind of thing, and then like slowly escalate it to like start animating the stuff.
Roller performance.
Can I throw a piece of bread towards Skippy while he's doing his crazy magic stuff to like stay on point?
Could I possibly try to contest that and grab it before
Can I
she
cast
throws
guidance on her to make sure it happens?
Oh my God.
So
I have made the most divisive thing ever.
roll a general attack towards Skippy. A roll for bread. And
Why did none of those?
make a dex check to see if you're able to keep it out from hitting the wee burb.
Yeah.
Short bow work?
Sure.
Oh.
It's ranged, whatever range.
Yeah.
Hold on, I need back out of roll 20 for.
Plus guidance, I heard.
Yep. So a D4.
Towards Temperance? Or...
Yes. Towards Temperance.
So this piece of bread is going to sail by and whap Skippy in the back of the head.
Gently, gently.
Gently. It's bread.
It's bread.
Bonk.
Just gonna high five Xanroar. Or high wing feather, whatever.
Now what we talk about throwing our food, Temperance?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm having some technical.
Can't hear you.
You okay over there?
Yeah, I'm having some technical difficulties at the moment. Here we go. I think they're fixed.
Is he talking about his magic or like IRL?
IRL.
Why not both?
Now, Temperance,
Finally.
what do we say about throwing our food?
So you're doing a fairly good job until you get whapped up in the back of the head with a piece of bread. Cutting.
Sorry. So I'm just gonna use my owl head to just, instead of like turning my whole body, I'm just gonna turn my head 180 degrees and give like the most intimidating glare that I can, which isn't very intimidating because I'm like an owl.
Owl person.
And then I'm going to go back to doing my magic. And since I have improved minor illusion, I'm going to add some like sound effects in there, some like little carnival music, I guess.
So Temperance, he doesn't seem to be getting the hint.
He doesn't. It's okay.
Does that make you feel any better, friend?
He swallows like this massive bite that he's been gnawing on, and he gives a little huff, but then just nods a bit, and the other two are like, see, and they like pat him on the back, and they're like, things aren't all that bad.
Acceptance.
Well, I don't know why we're here, but it was really nice meeting all of you. If you ever need anything, please come. Our friends are really nice. Well, when they're not throwing bread, sometimes they do that. But other than that, they're really nice. And I'm just gonna look over at the elves and kind of shudder away at their looks, and then hop back over to our table.
And you get waves and bye.
And then I go back to Temperance. I'm like, oh, those are my new friends. Yor and Trigger and the big one. I can't remember the big one's name. Win. I'm gonna write these.
This is a perfect example of why she threw the bread.
There's also the names on the picture.
Oh, is there?
Yeah. Well, I just meant like in character also. Like,
Oh yeah.
oh, those are my new best friends. I showed them all sorts of magic. Crap, what are their names?
Question. Seeing Yor in the kind of armor, could Xanroar tell the quality of it?
I'm sure. I'm not sure. Would that be a smithing check? I think. General smithing knowledge. You have smith's tools, right?
Yes, I do.
Just roll it with intelligence. They're good. They're decent. They're not the sort of they're definitely used. They've seen fights. They've seen battles like that. It's not just like I'm wandering around wearing decorative armor. This is well made, sturdy.
Begrudging respect.
Temperance.
Yes.
You reckon we ought to go to the Sun Elves, or would you rather keep them out of our conversation circle?
Well, I don't think we need to circulate to a table that is clearly looking around with hate. I think it's more advantageous to just observe for now. The next recon we send out might be a little less sparkly.
That's what I'm saying. You and me should go better in pairs, especially for that group. If we do decide we want to go top.
Yeah, like Temperance will want to probably eventually, depending on what happens, but not right away. I kind of want to observe, see if anybody else comes in, see kind of how things move as people come in. Just wants to watch for a little while.
Makes sense. Give it some time. Would I be able to possibly throughout the next hour or so, depending if anything will or will not happen, just keep my ear out if I hear anything maybe worth noting, or would be useful. I don't know if that would make any sense.
Sure. You could roll a perception. Nothing in particular stands out. Another group does come in eventually. It's a group of kobolds that I don't have a picture for, but there's a whole it's like a little gang of kobolds that take up a table and look entirely surprised and excited that there is free food and drink, and they order more than you can imagine their tiny little bodies can think that they would handle. And Temperance, you kind of notice that the bartender, the brother-in-law of Frigger, is kind of watching the kobolds more carefully than he is everyone else.
So, do they seem like they're just here to have a good time, like happy? Or do they seem generally like the rest, just sort of here for business?
They seem more here for business. They're not as boisterous as the three. They're not drinking as heavily. Over the course of time, you do notice that the three at the table, Wind and Trigger specifically, surprisingly, you're not as much. They're getting more and more tipsy as time goes on.
Would they be drunk enough that they wouldn't really notice if somebody else just kind of walked into their group?
Make an insight check.
Mm-hmm.
You have no idea.
All right.
What do you mean walked into their group? Like, just sat with them?
So, in character, Skippy's going to say, well, maybe I could like disguise myself and maybe be a kobold for a little bit and see if they are nice.
Skippy, we don't know a lot of people very well. We don't know how well they're going to take it, especially we don't know their personality. Not just for kobolds, but anyone in general. So doing that may not be advantageous towards those.
Speaking of which, how do you know they're DM? Are they speaking common or are they speaking some
It's
other
like
language?
mixing between common and draconic.
Do you even know how to speak like they do?
Yeah, actually I do. I
Oh,
know
that's all I got.
a lot of languages. Okay, but so like, yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna do it out of character, but Skippy's just kind of confused by the concept of like not everybody is gonna be nice because ever since he left his home, everybody's been super nice to him, except for sometimes Temperance.
Temperance will put her elbows on the table and kind of intertwine her feathers together and kind of get down by Skippy and be like, look, we talked about this. Not everybody is as friendly as you, and it's okay. It just means we have to sit and watch and be. Remember, it starts with patient. We just have to wait, and then maybe later you can be a kobold, or a lizard,
Okay.
or whatever you want.
Okay.
You can be anything.
I'm sorry, that was a
I'm like, I love his energy, but I don't know how to.
Handle them.
No, I love. If I'm being too much, just tell me to calm down. I love
No,
it.
it's good. This is exactly, I think, what Skippy would be like. a big ball of, I've done nothing for most of my life, and now I just learned all this cool stuff.
Yeah, I just got magic thrown.
Use it right now.
I don't understand, but there are people there. Why can't I talk to them? Give me.
Love it.
All right, so for the rest of the time until something happens, since Skippy's just watching and being patient, he's gonna do his kind of like a how a lighthouse would be, but with his head, and just because he's an owl, and spin it around in circles, watching the bar.
I'm gonna lean to the bartender or the waitress and be like, "Can you water down that chocolate milk a little bit? It's just getting a little, you know."
I hear you. So eventually, the front door is shut. Not locked, but the front door is shut, and there's a sound from upstairs as someone starts walking down. And it is a young girl. She doesn't look much older than 12, maybe. And she is carrying a box. And she's walking with an air of self-importance. And when she gets down at the bottom of the stairs, she kind of looks out at everybody, has a big smile, and she heads over towards the bar area and clears her throat and goes, "Hello? Everybody
Hi.
pay attention to me now." And
Xanroar
I'm
starts
Lena.
to kind of scowl.
And I am here to talk to you about my uncle, who is going to be offering you a job. Aren't you lucky? And she smiles. And Temperance and Norm can generally pick up from her that she's doesn't really want to be here, but she's doing this anyway. And she's holding a box. She's like, "So, all of you got a letter from my uncle, and he has a job that is going to pay a lot of money to the people who actually accomplish it." And she kind of judging the crowd a bit to see some reactions from anybody. And the elves haven't really made much noise at all. The three friends are just kind of like coughing a bit and trying to get each other to shut up and listen to the girl. Kobolds are chattering quietly with each other. And she approaches just closer, like more to the middle of the room where everyone can see. And she's holding this box. And she pulls it open, and inside is like a little cushion with a round red gem on the top. And she taps the top of it once, and it's a like illusion image appears of a man. It's kind of hard to tell coloring because the entire thing is about as red as the gem, but Skippy, this is the guy you saw.
I'm gonna lean over to Temperance and be like, "That's him. That's the guy. It's the redhead from the school time." I don't know if that mic was actually picking stuff up.
Good job. Yes. Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Hello, everyone." And his hair is a little crazy, and he looks a bit disheveled. He's like, "My name is Bowen, and I am so happy to see you here. I am in need of a bit of help." And he goes, "I am a very important person. I have a tower." And he pauses for dramatic effect. No? Nothing?
Skippy is all in. He's just engrossed in what this wizard is saying. It's like looking around to see how impressed other people are, and just so impressed.
Dustin is just giving Skippy that just like proud slash not even fatherly, just like, oh honey kind of look at Skippy.
My tower is a very important tool for a wizard, especially one of my caliber. But unfortunately, it seems to have gone missing. And I am going to need you fine people to find it for me. I do it myself, but unfortunately I have things to attend to. Like I said, I'm very man. And it's like, Lena, he says, and she's just sort of huffs a bit, and she lets go of the box and it's floating where it is, creating the illusion. And she goes to each group and she hands you a piece of paper with a symbol drawn on it, saying, "This is about all the information we have currently. We found what's the word? A badge. Maybe it was a necklace. It was broken, but it was made of metal, and this is the symbol that it showed." Sorry, roll 20 is being really slow all of a sudden. Oh. Go. Okay.
I might say it's a badge or
Yes. That's what we would say, yes. And Bowen actually smirks a bit like at that.
Oh, he's responding. Okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool.
I didn't realize. I thought it was like a hologram.
Yeah, me
I
too.
didn't realize. Like Skippy's also generally surprised that he can hear me, and now he's excited. It's like meeting a star.
Yeah, ruffled
Oh yes,
feathers
I could hear you.
at the response.
Sorry if I wasn't clear on that.
Is anybody
as
else
I
asking
said-
questions or like raising their hand to ask questions?
Not particularly. They're just
Okay.
kind of
I will.
sure.
Same.
Where was your tower?
It was about a day and a half, 2 days north, following the river up towards the Brightwood, right on the edge.
Okay. Does anybody not like you? I'm just trying to think of what Temperance has asked people.
You actually like. Lena kind of smirks at that.
Sorry, sir. Well, what we meant was, do you have anybody that would wish you ill?
Probably. I can't think of anyone in specific who would go so far as to steal a building, but who am I to judge?
Do you know anybody that's capable of such a thing? Like, would it be common knowledge, I guess? And Skippy maybe could weigh in on this. Like, do wizards like steal each other's castles? Like, that's mine. Aha! I stole his tower.
Wizards steal from each other all the time. It's kind of like borrowing. Like remember when
Like a timeshare?
we were still out in the wilderness and you said, "Oh, it's not stealing if the person is bad." Just think that all wizards think that other people are bad, and so you can take their stuff sometimes.
That's a curious take on it.
I'm not saying you're bad. I think you're awesome. You're cool. And do you remember me from school that one time?
Oh, honestly, how can I forget?
Zedro's rolling his eyes at that.
Could I possibly look over at the Sun Elves? Or not for any particular reason, more of just, are they making any moves? Do they have any general reactions out of curiosity?
Uh, insight? Their focus is on him now. They're not paying much mind to anyone else. They're whatever they're thinking, like they seem determined. So like you get the feeling that they are going to be going after this.
So is there a way that we can contact him outside of this one session, or
Are you asking this to him?
this is me kind of feeling like I'm talking too much, but I can. Is there a way that we can contact you outside of the like here now, if we needed to?
You will be given a means. Yes. That is a very good question. I'm proud of you.
Temperance will just kind of sag her head down, like, oh no.
How big was the item that the symbol was on, and what material was it made of?
Yeah, and I'm sorry, was this like left over after the tower was gone and this symbol was here?
Yes, it was
Okay.
in the grass. It seemed to be either a pin or some sort of symbol or a word. Talisman, badge. It was laying in the grass. And initially, I could find my notes.
I feel like Xanroar would already want to bite it, like to check its metal properties.
Well, you guys were given like a piece of parchment with it drawn on, but the original one was made of iron.
Iron. Okay.
Yes.
So what were you doing in the tower, sir?
Oh, I wasn't in it at the time.
No, but like, what was going on within the tower, whether you were in it or not?
I live there. All my stuff is there.
So there's like a bunch of super magical stuff there. It's just like questioning if it's possible that like something in the tower actually may appear along with somebody with a badger pin. Never mind, this doesn't make sense.
How long ago did this happen? I'm sorry.
About 2 days.
How large was the pin?
About the size on the page. It actually looks like they had done one of those like charcoal scratch things to get the image onto the paper, and it's a little bigger than like a $50 size.
All right.
Maybe like 2-3 inches across.
I think I have the information I need.
I don't know if this was already said, but how long do you need to buy? What's your time frame for this?
I am going to be gone for some time, so hopefully by the time I get back, generally, as long as it's found, I'll be happy.
Do you want it back where it was?
Preferably.
Oh,
But-
okay.
Where would that be?
I was on the edge of the forest.
Right.
Yeah, it was north along the river, I think. So if we can't get a hold of you, and she'll kind of turn to look at Lena, are you the next point of contact?
Nope.
What are you, I'm sorry, his niece? Daughter? Servant?
Errand girl.
I call him my
Friend?
uncle. That's all you need to know. I'm not part of this. Like, be nice, Lena. Just huff.
Yeah, Xanroar was snickered a little bit at that.
Skippy will go over to the bar and order a sweet roll for Lena, and like have the bartenders like deliver it over to her.
During the whole conversation. She will look very confused by this, but then sort of put her fingers on the edge of the plate to pull it closer to herself so she can start munching on it.
Yes.
Going to Bowen. I noticed there's a tower, but are there any defining features if we do find it, or what to look out for? Do you have any specifications of what this tower looks like?
It's round, about 3 stories tall, pointy roof, standard tower.
Material used to build it,
Stone, mostly.
gray stone, white stone, black stone.
Xanroar is like bubblegum shrimp. Like, anytime there's metal, he's on it. Or rocks.
Gray stones?
Is it magically warded or protected or hidden?
I would think not at the moment, since it's been stolen.
Oh.
Usually.
Is there anything dangerous in there when we get there that we should like like a basilisk or maybe like owl eaters that I was told about when I was young?
But that was some big words. I'm proud of you.
Thanks.
There are no basilisks, generally nothing alive. Or dead, I think.
Oh. Okay.
All right. Stupid question. I'm so sorry. When was the last time we were actually in this tower?
About a week ago.
About a week ago.
Temperance,
Color of the shingles and any other defining features?
Brown. It's rather nondescript, actually. The important stuff's on the inside.
Well, we have to find it by seeing the outside first.
Is it okay? So Temperance, knowing Skippy went to school and all that jazz, knowing wizards like books and projects and learning and stuff like that. Would it be? Could I ask him if he was there? You know, you look like the wizardly type. Obviously, you went to school. You enjoy learning. Was there some kind of project you were working on recently? Something that may have triggered somebody to find you, seek you out?
No. I've taken commissions for enchantments, but nothing so grandiose.
Could you teach me how to enchant cabbages to explode? I've been
Temperance
testing
is
that.
gonna put a wing on Skippy and just do the head shake. No.
Sorry.
Exploding cabbages. Well, here's the thing. If whoever finds the tower, you will each get 500 gold pieces and a favor from a wizard. So if you want to make exploding cabbages and you return my tower to me, I'm sure we could figure something out.
So a favor, what level wizard is she? I don't know how to ask that in character.
You don't know.
How powerful a mage?
I suppose.
He's very important.
Or so he says. Okay. Was that 500 just for reasons? 500 gold each or
Each.
Oh.
That kind of gets everyone's attention.
Yeah, Xanroar is already thinking in his head he could actually have a decent meal every night.
Dustin's think about how many cabbages he can buy.
Temperance is imagining how many, separate rooms, other building establishments next to hers that she could rent out to them. Look.
And Skippy's thinking about how cool it is that he gets to help this wizard.
Proudly wearing your vest.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I'm gonna plop that back on really quick because that would have gotten dissipated.
And the image starts to flicker, and you see the box start to waver, and Lena hops up to go grab it, and he's like, well, it looks like my time is running out, and I needed to go anyway. Like I said, you will be getting a means to contact me. It will only work for once a week. You could check in on me if needed. And I wish you all the best, and I'll talk to you next and then he's gone.
Bye.
And you see the round jewel kind of split apart into kind of like a chocolate orange. Like it splits apart and all the pieces just fall out. And Lena starts to hand one to each group going around the room.
Do each of us individually get one, or
Nope,
just
one
a
per group.
As she goes by, I'm just gonna ask, Miss Lena, forgive my blunt question. Why help your uncle? You don't really seem very keen on much of what he is doing, but you're still here.
How is that your business?
It's not. Just take notice of things.
You're rude, she says and walks away.
Muttering under his breath, you're one to talk.
Skippy would also like to hop up to her and just be like, so I just wanted to say that if you ever need like to talk or just need any favors or anything, well, you know, I like making friends, and you seem like you actually are nice. So if you ever need anything, come by the detective agency. We have cabbages that don't explode yet, but maybe one day, if we're lucky.
She's watching him awkwardly ramble, and she gets like a bit of a smirk, like, he's like 5 years old, and sort of reaches out to pat him on the head. It's like, I'm not going to be here for much longer, and then goes off to give the kobolds one. And Temperance, like, as she approaches the kobolds, they're very still. They're very quiet, and they're looking at that symbol, like, on the paper. And they barely even notice her, like, put the piece of, gem on the table as she walked by.
What?
Skippy. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
And Norm notices that too.
I'm gonna lean into the group. I'm just gonna go for you, but I'm kind of getting a bad feeling from those kobolds. Do you think they're actually kobolds? Maybe it's just my own trust in this, but I get the sense maybe they're illusion. I don't know.
I mean, if Norm and I are staring at him, could I see?
Do you have any magical means of knowing whether or not they're chanted?
I mean, I could
They
insight
look like
to tell if they're being false about what, like, do their movements seem natural for kobolds?
They appear as kobolds to everybody.
Maybe it's just me.
They're not strange.
Maybe it's just me.
Norm.
Maybe it's just my mind.
This symbol. Anybody recognize it?
If you want to wait 10 minutes, I might be able to determine if they're illusions.
When Lena is finished, she snaps the box shut, and she says, my uncle is going to pay for room and board for the next 3 days for everybody here. So you have 3 days of free food and free nice beds, because he's an awesome guy, and very important, and he has a tower, or had a tower. And she kind of watches everyone for a minute, then looks back over at the bartender, then starts to head back upstairs.
Does that mean she's going to be here?
Well, can I, we need to find a private place to talk because I have an idea of something that might have happened to the tower.
What? Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Sure. So I'm gonna use minor illusion, or actually improved minor illusion to put like one of those blurry things that they do on TV around my face, and then like a bunch of noise around me so that no one can hear me or try to read my beak. And so I'm gonna say kind of soft enough so hopefully only the people around me can hear. So when we were at wizard school, there was this one time when they told us about during a magic competition at the other wizard school, because they're not as great, about how a city got rearranged one time, and like buildings got moved and stuff. And so like there's at least somebody that was there that can move an entire building around.
Roll a quick history.
It is coming up now.
So, from what you remember about the story, that it was many years ago, and the way it was described to you, it was almost like neighborhoods and parks and such. Everything but the castle was kind of shuffled around. Kind of like, you know when there's like those 3 cups and there's like a bean under a cup? Like that kind of shifting, like everything was shifted around and moved along the ground to different locations.
Cool. So yeah, I just explained that to you guys.
I mean, it's a possibility, but that's only one thing we have to go on. I mean, other than the pin, patch, pin.
Don't worry, I can recreate the pin later.
Now, Temperance. I know you being the lead detective here. Have any idea? Any inkling of a thought that we might be able to go off?
Seeing that the other table is very interested in the image, she's gonna try and see if she can maybe remember anything about it. Maybe work with Norm or Xanroar on its origin.
Yeah, is that anything on the other side of the mountains?
Can roll history checks.
Do you mind if I roll an Arcana check to see if there's like magic associated with it?
Sure, whatever you would like.
I'm gonna help Norman remember nothing at all.
I'm gonna see if I remember anything through the smithing angle.
Good. Jeez.
As far as you know, it has nothing to do specifically with smithing or anything from where you came from. It's a completely foreign concept.
Cool.
The symbol doesn't ring any bells, but it does for that group, and that group finishing this first would not look good for a detective agency to not solve the biggest case well known in town.
Well, Do you really think he was that important? Just out of curiosity. He
Well,
just seemed very arrogant.
he's got a lot of money, and unfortunately, in a town this size, regardless of the civilization, up above the clouds or below, money talks.
Yeah,
And
hear you there.
he's a master wizard, so I'm sure whatever he's working on, it's very important because, wizards don't just not do important stuff.
Yes, and wizards do have a tendency to be a little oblivious as to who else they're upsetting or drawing the attention of when performing their skills.
Exactly.
So
Snickers at that.
the thing is,
Wait, what?
yes. So the thing is, he clearly was doing something to garner attention from somebody else. It's just we need to find out a clue as to who that somebody else is. Now, I don't. The Kobold team has a clue. The elves, do they look like they're, digging into any certain piece of information?
They're talking to each other now, like actually using, but they're very quiet about it. You can't tell specifically whether they know anything or not.
But the kobolds were like, this image, point.
Well, they were looking at it and they looked very tense. Roll an insight. Yeah, they don't like it. They seem very hesitant.
Do they seem scared or just distaste?
Not distaste, it's more like they don't want to be part of this. Like they don't not disgust, like this is like a horrible thing. This is
Oh shit, we don't want to deal with this crap.
Yes, this is an oh shit.
At that, Temperance is going to just kind of be nodding along with the conversation at the table for a second, and then she's going to get up and kind of survey. Is it Xanroar? You're like a large, beefy dude, right?
Yeah. What did I put my height at? I think it was like, yeah, I'm like 6'9".
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So she'll just kind of like ask Xanroar to join her. Just look, kind of like you do.
Intimidating.
Yeah, just like
Half-Orc.
you're like somebody stole your bread or something. And she'll walk over to the kobolds and say, "I've got an idea. Hold on," and walk over to them and try and talk to them. I mean, they speak common in theory, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So she'll go over and she'll kind of nod and point at the symbol that they're all kind of looking at, and she'll say, "That's interesting, right?"
And kobolds in this world are generally part of society. Like, since there are no dragons, they've like attached themselves to Dragonborn families, or not. They're just others are just around. So they're not the sort that you find in mines causing issues most of the time, but these ones are generally what you would expect of like an adventuring type. They're just tiny, and there's one of them in specific that is kind of gives you a look. It's just like, what do you know about it?
Well, I mean, I can't exactly lay all my cards on the table, but I see you have the same apprehension about taking on this job. I mean, this symbol certainly does up the stakes, wouldn't you say?
Roll a deception. He seems to relax a little bit. Just be like, I don't think this is a good idea.
Well, I mean,
like there's chatter among them. There's about 6 of them total.
oh geez.
And yeah, there's a bunch, and they're there's an argument. It's like, but the money, there's so much money.
Yeah,
It's like,
Temperance was just about to say something to the effect of money.
It's like we could handle this. This is fine. It's like we don't. There's. Do you speak Draconic? Because it kind of shifts back and forth.
I definitely don't. No.
No, but like the bits you're getting, the angrier bits are more in Draconic as they're.
Would I
talking,
know
so.
if anybody in our group did? Didn't somebody? Skippy?
Skippy.
Skippy speaks it.
I'm just gonna go and we'll be like, Skippy, I think she's gonna need you for this. I don't think she can do this alone. You wanna help out your sister?
Again,
okay.
not sisters. Across the room. Yeah, she'll kind of look back.
So, Skippy hops over and he, because of multiple scoldings, knows that this is a scary Temperance situation, not a Skippy situation. So he walks up and he's like, "What do you buddies want?"
They all stop.
He looks at Temperance and is like, gives like a thumb of feathers up.
They all stop and like look at him. They're like, "You just came to us. What do you want?"
Well, I'm here to speak Draconic, and then I kind of slump back, and then in Draconic, I'm like, you guys seem nice.
There's a pause, and then they all burst out laughing.
Skippy's unsure what's going on right now.
Temperance makes a mental note to be like, when I call you up, after I've already been there, it's to just listen and tell me what they say, not go, I speak Draconic. Hi, guys. But that's awesome, because that's exactly how the first time would go. Ruining any possible stealth of, like, they're talking angrily. Now they don't do that.
Now they're laughing at you.
So this is all pretty intense, right? In Draconic.
Sure, kid.
What if, so I'm just gonna like wait for Temperance to stop me, so I'm gonna start talking in common. Like, what if we could help each other out to solve this? And you get paid just like we do.
They just kind of look at him, and like the one that Temperance was talking to turns and looks at her and just raises a brow. Like, he has that expression like the what what is this?
Look, he has a lot of energy, but he knows a lot of languages, knows a lot of things. Went to school with the gentleman that is attempting to employ all of us. So clearly, what we came over here for was to let you know that we have information that perhaps you wouldn't have access to right away. And it seems as though you know a little bit about this symbol. Perhaps we could be of use to each other and, give each other a little bit of a head start, share some information. A little friendly competition never hurt anybody. Besides, at least we're not glaring at you from across the room like the sad little twins over there.
So what do you think you could offer?
Insight into the gentleman, Bowen? Right?
Yes.
Right.
We're not looking for Bowen, we're looking for his tower.
Right, but in order to find a wizard's tower, mustn't you know something about the person that inhabited that place? And the goings-on that they were, taking part in prior to its disappearance? A symbol.
And I know,
What?
and I know stories about how to move towers. From like other. I'm gonna stop.
I'll put my wing over the last. I know how to move towers. Don't give away all. Mental note: don't give away all of our cards at once. We only have 2. We don't have many cards, and we don't know anything about this symbol. Not in character.
So,
Tradesies.
you tell us how towers move. We'll tell you this. He points at the badger symbol.
Can I see if he seems like a person that would keep his word? Like, can I trust him to Cobalt's trustworthy? That doesn't sound like a sentence I've ever said.
Does he seem trustworthy?
Roll an insight.
Oh, boo. How? Fail and crit in the same one.
Wow.
Oh, that hurts.
It does.
As far as you can tell, he's being completely sincere.
You know what? Hold on a
Tell
second.
otherwise.
Wait a minute. No. Hold on. So
He does not appear to be lying.
So that's a 14, and he doesn't appear to be lying. Okay.
That's a cool feature.
All right. Well, Skippy. Wait. Which information did they ask for?
How do you make buildings move?
Skippy, what did you learn about disappearing towers in school? And she'll kind of like turn towards him and not towards them, and just. Oh, God, there's nothing to do. Other than just give eye and hope that he knows not to give away everything.
Well, so it started at school in what was the city's name?
Mnemoneris.
Mnemoneris. It happened in Mnemoneris.
The capital. The capital city.
But Skippy's just gonna like in character stumble on the name of it. It happened in Mnemoneris, where a wizard that was there years and years ago rearranged the city.
And they're sitting quietly, listening, waiting for actual information on how to move towers.
Well, so I have, and like I look up at Temperance for this, I have given you half the information. Now I need something from you.
She's like, you can see her physically fluffing up a little bit with pride. But she doesn't want to let him know. Like, it's just she's staring at them and fluffing up a little bit.
His eyes narrow, the one that seems to be the leader. And he hesitates a moment and then looks down at the symbol. Says, there are many of them.
Of who?
He points at the symbol.
Is it a creature?
He shrugs.
Is it a magic cult?
You all gave me half the information. I give you half the information.
Very well. And Temperance will turn down to Skippy and say, "Tell them the book where you found the information. What was the title of that book again?"
Oh, the title of the book, the
Oh no.
The Mnemoneris zoning board issue of years ago.
Could I just make our wizard roll a deception?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Crap.
That's absolutely what
Sorry,
needs to
Skippy. I was trying to be subtle and I should have... Uh-oh.
Okay, that's average.
Yeah, but he just sort of. They all look at each other and then look at the leader, and he's just kind of looking at you with this, like, We don't deal in lies, you know.
Wait, okay. If you wanted to find more information about this, you should go to Sherlock University, but they suck. It's all about the dress skills. And you should ask a wizard named Farron Neferilian about it, because they were there when it happened, and they saw the competition.
The deal was that you, and he points at Skippy, give us information on how to move towers, and we give you information. You've not done that at all.
Well, in my defense, I think it is quite time that you guys leave us alone.
Okay, all right. So you want information. We gave you the information that we have about moving towers. We literally have a contact who was there the last time something like this happened. That's a person that instead of investigating out how to move a tower yourself, you have a name that you can go to and find out how this could be done, and perhaps even a list of people that are capable of such powers.
The deal's the deal. That was not the deal. Why should we travel all the way to Mnemoneris when the tower was missing here?
You don't have to travel to Mnemoneris. You just have to find somebody capable of talking to someone there. I mean, you saw the way that Bowen, transferred his voice here. All wizards are capable of communication in that way. It's just a matter of getting, spending the money to get the word to them. Look, we didn't...
We're done here. And he raises his voice. I don't deal with liars.
Hey, a lot of people here are nice,
you knew
and you're not very nice. I'm starting to think like you're actually a scoundrel.
I'm not a liar.
Actually, you kind of are.
Yeah, she's calling you a liar.
See that things are going bad?
He's getting loud, so likely.
I'm gonna stand up and put his chair away.
Either stop them or do we?
You're breaking up a whole lot, Mike.
Oh, wow. Sorry. Is this any better?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we should go either defuse the situation or stop them before we get into a bar brawl.
Zan's already packed up and put his chair back into his bag and starts heading over behind Skips and Temp. Is there a problem here?
These ones are liars.
Your point being?
I don't want to deal with them anymore.
So Skippy is going to use minor illusion to turn his owl eyes completely black, and in the gruffest voice he can, which he can actually change due to the improved minor illusion, he's going to say, "Then walk away before I have to deal with you."
Roll and
Because
intimidate.
Skippy has
I'm gonna
never been
grab him by
denied
the back of the collar and start dragging him back to our table.
Oof.
Yeah, he just kind of raises a brow. It's like, you came to us.
I'm already attempting to grab him by the collar and just kind of pull him back to our table.
Yeah, I'll
Do you
just
fight to the grabbing?
I can look down to Skippy and just be like, let's go. Let's go. And she'll turn around to the table and just say, if I find out that you've spoken to the contact whose name we gave you, this won't be the last time we see each other. And she'll turn to leave, and try and pull Skippy. She doesn't want to leave Skippy behind. And Xanroar.
Before I leave, I make sure to tell the bartender to send Leanne a nice meal and make sure that she knows that Skippy sent it.
Lena?
Yes, Lena, thank you.
Okay.
I'm gonna walk over to the barmaiden, Frigga, and because I think I have one, I'm gonna put down just a single gold piece and just say, "I'm sorry for all the loud noises and trouble."
You call that loud and troublesome? She says and just sort of like flicks the coin back at him.
Maybe
Don't be
not.
silly.
Thank you. Anyway, Temperance, are you alright? Things were getting a little bit heated.
Everything's fine. It's just kobolds don't deal in information the way that they probably should. Gotta be more careful with our words and more careful with our allies, that's all. But, that was a legitimate reference that Skippy gave, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
some gain is a lesson earned.
Yeah, I'll fill Dustin in on what happened and that we should probably reach out to this contact first, and maybe try and bribe them so that they don't give this kind of information out to anybody else.
I don't know if we... I don't think this is gonna be the last time we're gonna see these kobolds.
We could
But
try
it's...
following them at some point.
Yeah, but that could get ugly if gone wrong.
Oh no,
If anything, I trust Norman.
I think we should totally probably follow him, and out of character, Kyle is passing out, but he would super be on board with following them. Like, tracking them, figuring out where they go, that's his jam.
So,
We can give that job to him.
so Skippy was kind of like in contact with some like professors and stuff at the last school because I was kind of a rarer creature there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Skippy's gonna draft a letter asking for the professors for any information that they can give, and send it out by whatever means of sending letters is in this world.
There are message carriers that you could
Okay.
send along with.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do that. Yeah.
Ooh. Okay.
I'll actually draft up a letter at some point over the week.
Okay.
It's because they said midday, so what time would it be right now with all that happened?
1-ish. 1:30-ish.
Well, I say that we could go look more into this symbol that they gave us, and from the cobalt sound, they sounds like it's pretty nasty.
Oh, wait, hold on. So I would like to inspect this symbol, especially now knowing it's them. Using that. Oh, that I may have input that wrong. I think I input that wrong. But
Titular, a piece of lore. This isn't the sort of thing that you would know from, like, a library or a sage or a university. It's not that sort of info.
Dang it.
It's the other secret kind. Xanroar to the group. Does anybody have spare silver I could borrow?
Of course.
I just need a bit of a loan so we can have the symbol on us at all times.
I give Xanroar a whole gold.
He's just kind of bug-eyed at that.
I'll fleck him another 2.
He's kind of giving out, like, eyes are going completely wide at this point. I only need a silver.
I don't carry
This
silver.
is a bit much.
Just in case you need anything else. I know you're having kind of a tough little time right now.
Well,
so maybe this can help you.
Xanroar, would it make sense to make a couple copies of this? I could perhaps give it to my contact, and if anything jogs his memory, maybe he could ask around. One for us, one for him, one for anyone else.
Fair enough. I'll make one for each of the party plus 2 extras. Just to have our bases covered. I'll be heading off to the market now. Need to get my materials.
Where should we all meet up? The agency?
Sounds like as good a place as any.
Xanroar, do you need a escort or anything? Any help?
If you want to come along, Skippy, you can feel free. Learn what an actual laborer does.
Yeah, so Skippy is gonna hop along Xanroar and be like, "Don't worry, if those kobolds come after you, I'll protect you."
How large is Skippy, by the way?
I am 4 feet tall.
Xanroar's looking down at this little bird.
Really tall.
You should be more like 3.
Oh, sorry. I 3 feet tall.
He's just looking down at this bird that's less than half his height. Right. You'll protect me. Come along, Skips.
And Skippy just hops off, making sure to grab one of the baskets of bread.
Before everybody starts to disperse, Temperance will kind of lean down towards Skippy and Dustin and say, Did you want to touch base with your new best friends over there? The drinkers? I don't know, do they look like they're getting any information?
I don't know about Skippy, but looks like they're kind of too drunk to make sense of much. Because I know they've been nursing a couple cups.
Skippy kind of has a question for Temperance. Well, what if, like, everybody here, because we all get 500, right? So what if we all, everybody, well, maybe not the kobolds because they were rude, but work together and all found the tower?
And maybe not the elves because they were rude before the kobolds were rude.
I agree with that much, at least.
Maybe.
Ask them. I mean, you have the history with them, Skippy. Just no fireworks this time. Just keep it strictly on point. And ask, if they know what's going on, if they have any leads. And we can work together.
Yeah, so Skippy just hops over and asks, is this seat still open, friends?
Hey there again, little buddy. Sure, you can. You want some drink? Still got some. It's free.
Oh, sure. I'll take a chocolate milk.
And they just says like, no, try this, and they give him mead. It's honey. You like honey?
Oh, I like honey.
Honey.
Temperance, get the bread. Temperance, get the bread.
You were supposed to go over there with him.
I just kind of like dip
Feed
in
him cabbage.
A little
Xanroar
bit.
Smiling at watching this.
I'm gonna open my hat, and there's just gonna be a cabbage just right on my head, and just give it to Temperance to throw.
But anyways, so yeah, as I'm drinking this funny tasting honey drink, I'm gonna be talking to them and asking, so do you guys know anything about this? Because maybe we can help each other, and then all of us get the 500 gold, because he says he gives it to each, and if he's that rich, then maybe the 3 of you and then the 5 of us all get the 500 gold.
And when the big guy's like, I've got no idea, do you? And Trigger's just leaning back in his, like, dangerously far back in his chair, where it's kind of like teetering a bit, and head leaning backwards off the chair, and it's just like, I don't know, looks like a badger. You know any badgers?
Well, no, but sometimes Temperance tells me to stop badgering her, so maybe I'm a badger? I don't know. But, so...
And, Yor just kind of, like, shakes his head and goes, too feathery.
Well, I know that there is a lot of the badgers, from the kobolds, but they don't like me anymore. Yeah, so I don't think that me and the kobolds are going to be friends, sadly.
That's sad, Yor says, and drinks some of his own mead.
So you're saying you're sad? Sorry, I didn't even like that one.
That was a good one.
Thank you. But yeah, so that's all that we really know for sure right now. But
lots of badgers.
Lots of badgers.
So,
but
I'm sure he figured out, why they're here, or anything about, why they're investigators, right? Because they just seem like a couple dudes that wandered in to drink. But I'm sure Skippy's got this. He's got this, she says, watching.
Just drank a little bit of mead in that tiny body, and the fact that apparently he's never drank before, I give it 5 minutes before he's floored.
That's pretty accurate.
If I start to see him teeter off and doing the shuffle left and right, I'm just gonna walk over, just give a bow to them, pick up Skippy, and just walk away.
So I know I'm not going to get happiness about this, and Skippy's just gonna start like stuttering a little bit. But I just want you guys to know that, and like he uses minor illusion to put words above his head and like sparks flying off them, so that it says, "You're cool."
All right, Skip. Skip.
And then
Skip.
Wait, was that
Skip,
fireworks?
No, there's sparks and fireworks are two different things.
Yeah, okay, yeah. light in any form, Temperance will start walking over and just be like, I'm so sorry, Dustin.
It's like belatedly after Dustin picks up Skippy and walks away, like maybe like a minute or two later, you hear like, "Hey, where'd the bird go?"
I'll see you later, friends. As I imagine, I'm just getting carried out of this bar, drunk off of like 5 sips of whiskey or whatever it was. Mead.
Temperance will go over and give them a business card and just say, look, he can't hold his drink. So, if you want to continue this conversation, this is where to find us. And we'll leave.
That was another bird.
Well, I'll take Skip since he did want to come out.
Temperance, mind if I go with you?
I was going to head to see Chaucer. Out of character, Athy, is Chaucer cool with other people coming around? Because if so, then yes. I don't know if he'll be weird, though.
If it has to do with business.
Yeah, this is... I'll put a gold coin into the, hat. Yeah, sure, come on. I mean, we're just going to see my dude.
I feel more comfortable if I waited in the corner or somewhere else.
No, just come along. He just, distrustful of people. I mean, he's a lot like me, just generally distrustful, but it's fine. Just, he's not a big fan of cabbage, so maybe just don't go off about cabbage. But other than that, you're good to go. He's a pretty, calm guy. Good information. And she will, okay, so we know what the image looks like. We had a rubbing of it, I guess.
Yes, it should be in your handouts.
Okay. She'll try and do a rough sketch of it because Xanroar is going to buy supplies to make copies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, she'll just draw a rough sketch to give to him initially, and hand it back to Xanroar so he can get started whenever. Plan to meet up.
Xanroar's putting Skippy up on his shoulder, just kind of perched with him sitting there.
I can help you with the sketch. And I use prestidigitation to do the symbol on just the bar.
Oh, does he actually? Okay. Oh, I mean, if you're capable, sure.
Because I can put it on a surface.
I just wasn't sure if it had your little tipsy, touch.
Yeah, I don't know
if it was upside down or something.
I mean, upside down, you can still just flip it upside down. And
I have some parchment if you need to write it. And he goes rummaging in his bag.
And
where
the bartender comes over and scratches a bit at the bar and is like, "Is this permanent?"
No, it'll come out in an hour. You're great.
I'm so sorry for him.
I'm so sorry that I was scared of you. Haven't met many dragons before.
Here's a very small bird, and he cannot take a lot of meat in his body. I'm so sorry.
I thought it was like honey milk.
Skipper, do you know what meat is?
Well, I know that Temperance says sometimes people are mean. Skippy has no idea what meat is.
You're on the right track. Just keep nursing that thought.
Skippy's gonna be nursing a hangover here soon.
Yeah, Xanroar just reaches into his bag, pulls out a piece of parchment, and hands it to Temperance for her to copy the picture.
I hold it up for Skippy. Come on, you can do it.
Skippy slaps his wings onto the paper and leaves the symbol. But just know it'll only be there for an hour.
She gives him a little pat and kind of gives Xanroar a, "Are you okay taking care of that little guy?"
Oh, don't worry. I have something that'll wake him right up.
All right, meet back at our headquarters, I guess.
A fist.
The bird cave.
We'll see you there.
Wait, did Skippy say it like that?
Yeah, so Skippy said it in a Batman voice. but
I love that. All right.
I think that's a good place to stop. Ning?
I would agree.
And we will pick back up in 2 weeks, where we should have Zara return to you guys, in which you get to regale her with this entire situation.
Yay.
All the shenanigans.
And Norman on his stalking trip.
Mm-hmm.
Stupid kobold. Real quick before we completely wrap, I know Xanroar actually did employ us for something. Is there anything that I could roll to maybe get some information on that? Because he's like, hey, how's that going? And I'm like, oh, crap.
Sure.
What would you like?
An investigation for every day you've been working on it.
Okay, and realistically, we've kind of known each other for what, like a week, realistically?
Yeah, I've been in the city for about a week now.
Okay.
We could do that during the week.
Sure.
It's not a big...
Sounds good. All right. Yay.
Cool.
Well, thank you, ma'am. I loved all the
Thank you.
the cool characters. I assume that was
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
This was
Quite
awesome.
an interesting group.
Yay.
you. Yay.
I love our dynamic.
Athy art.
And I wasn't sure who my character was going to be going into this, so I'm happy about it.
Yes.
That's generally how it happens. You kind of learn your character as you play them.
But I feel like all of us have good chemistry.
Yeah.
So far, so good.
We will figure it all out. Yeah, I mean, I think it played out exactly like it would. So that's good. Cool. Well, thank you very much, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Yay.
Yeah,
You're
thanks for
Good night,
the game.
welcome.
everyone.